Welcome everyone to today's explainer. Listen, if you're anything like me, you probably woke up today with a rock-solid plan, only to have the absolute chaotic, completely unpredictable nature of daily life throw a massive wrench right into the middle of it. Right? We've all been there. A flat tire on the way to work, a terribly delayed email, a spilled cup of coffee, or, oh man, that one coworker who always hits reply all on a company-wide thread. It's incredibly easy to let these random, frustrating little events totally derail our focus and just ruin our day. But what if we've been looking at this completely backwards?
Seriously, ask yourself right now, what actually controls your happiness? Think about it. When the train is late, when the weather ruins your weekend, when someone abruptly cuts you off in traffic out of nowhere, your heart races, your stress spikes, and suddenly you feel totally, completely helpless. It feels like the world is just happening to you, pushing you around without your permission, right? It begs the ultimate question, who is truly in the driver's seat of your own mind? Are you driving, or are you just a passenger to your everyday circumstances?
Okay, let's dive into this, because the source material we're looking at today offers a profound thesis that completely flips that helpless script. Listen to this direct quote from the text. All you can control in life is how you respond to life. Happiness starts and ends in mind. Wow, that isn't just a nice, fluffy motivational sentiment, folks. It's the ultimate mindset shift. It is literally the foundational blueprint for becoming the architect of your own well-being, rather than just being a victim of chance.
Which brings us to part 1, the happiness paradigm shift.
We are so often sold this massive misconception that happiness is simply the mathematical result of good things happening to us. You know the drill. Get the promotion, buy the fancy car, go on the perfect vacation, and then, magically, you're going to be happy. But our text challenges this head-on, requiring a complete paradigm shift in how we process reality. And this idea brilliantly illustrates that core dichotomy. On one side, we have external circumstances. These are the things we absolutely cannot control, like that sudden flat tire, a bad economy, the weather, whatever. But on the exact opposite side is our internal reaction. It's how we respond. Recognizing the strict, hard boundary between these two columns, well, that is exactly where your freedom actually begins.
Moving on to part 2, reclaiming your personal agency. Now, what's really interesting about this breakdown is that once we've drawn a clear line in the sand between the external world and the internal mind, we can start looking at the actual practical mechanics of human resilience. Let's map out the exact framework of this psychological theory. We're looking at 3 core pillars that hold up this internal architecture. Number 1, personal agency. Number 2, the principle that mindset matters. And number 3, the profound realization that happiness is internal. Let's break these down one by one, so we can really grasp how to apply them to our daily routines.
We start with personal agency. The text explicitly defines this as the ability to choose how we respond to life's challenges and opportunities. Notice that it specifically highlights both challenges and opportunities. That's key, because whether you're facing a massive roadblock or a sudden stroke of incredible luck, you always retain the power of choice in how you react. No external event can strip you of that psychological agency. Well, unless you willingly hand it over, of course.
That takes us to part 3, why your mindset matters.
Having established that we inherently possess this choice, we need to look at the machinery behind making that choice effectively. Let's see how this builds a direct pipeline inside your brain. As our source explains, it all starts with step 1, your thoughts and beliefs. If you automatically think, this spilled coffee ruined my entire day, it immediately triggers step 2. It influences your emotions. You start feeling genuinely angry and defeated. And finally, those emotions lead to step 3, driving your behaviors, like snapping at a coworker or just giving up on your tasks for the afternoon. It's a precise step-by-step chain reaction. If you want to change your behavior and your feelings, you got to go back to the source, your foundational thoughts.
Finally, part 4, cultivating an internal architecture. We are now arriving at the final and perhaps most liberating pillar of this entire framework. So, the crucial point is this: true happiness is not dependent on external factors, but rather on our internal state of mind. Joy is entirely an inside job. It's completely independent of that unpredictable, chaotic outside world we talked about at the very beginning of this explainer. You absolutely do not need the perfect conditions to be happy, you just need to architect the right internal state. So, how do we actually do this in practice? Well, the text encourages us to actively cultivate this mindset in our daily lives. First, by intentionally focusing on a positive internal state. Second, by building resilience. And honestly, I love this concept. It's about treating every external setback as a repetition in the mental gym. Every annoying email, every flat tire, it's just another rep building your mental muscles.
And third, by constantly recognizing your own control. By practicing these 3 steps, you're actively laying the bricks of a positive, resilient framework in your own mind. You are, quite literally, becoming the architect of your own experience.
Which brings us to our final thought for today. What will be your next reaction? Sometime today, for sure, something is going to happen that you did not plan for. Someone will say something annoying, a deadline will shift unexpectedly, or a brand new problem will just pop up out of thin air. When that inevitable, unpredictable challenge hits, I challenge you to apply this internal architect mindset. Will you let the external world dictate your feelings, or will you choose your response? The blueprint is entirely in your hands. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer, and hey, keep building that resilient mindset.